Chapter 32. Autumn Leaves. At Bryn Mawr, I take a seminar on women's causes, descended from the work of Katharine Hepburn's mother, a suffragist and alumna who fought for women's rights at the turn of the century. In one class, our professor says something that stops me in my tracks. Feminism without racial justice is white women demanding equality within an unjust system. It's asking to be equal oppressors. I sit very still. I've been so focused on women's rights, my own liberation, that I haven't thought about whose backs that liberation might be built on. I join a small civil rights group that meets off campus in a church basement. The first night, I'm one of 3 white students in a room of 20. A young woman named Dorothy speaks about Montgomery, about Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat, about black women walking miles to work in the cold rather than submit to the indignity of standing while white passengers sit. She's passionate, precise, angry. I sit in the back, trying to be invisible. Afterwards, someone asks if anyone wants to share why they're here. I stay silent. What would I say? That I've been comfortable my whole life while people suffered? That I want to help but don't know how? I leave without speaking to anyone. On the walk back to the apartment, I feel the weight of how late I am, how white, how comfortable I've been. I spend a week up at Harvard visiting Topper. When I arrive, he's in the Widener Library, buried in coursework. I wait in the reading room, watching students come and go, their arms full of books. The place smells of old paper and radiator heat. When he finally appears, he kisses me, brief, warm, and apologizes without quite apologizing. I have to finish this section, he says. Give me another hour? Of course, I say. The boy would have dropped everything, would have run out to meet me the moment I arrived. But Topper doesn't, and I find myself impressed, relieved. I'm not sure which. I cook supper in his apartment near campus, a spacious set of rooms with tall windows overlooking the Charles. It's nothing elaborate, chicken, roasted vegetables, bread from the market, but I want to make things easier whilst he's working. When he comes home, he's surprised. You didn't have to do this, he says, hanging his coat. I know, but you're working. I wanted to help. He kisses my forehead. It's sweet, endearing, really. We eat at the dining table by the window. I tell him about the seminar at Bryn Mawr, about the lectures I've been attending. Topper sets down his fork. You're intellectualizing guilt when you should be acting on it. I bristle slightly. I know that. That's why I joined the civil rights group. Good, he says. Just make sure you're not performing activism the way some of these Bryn Mawr girls do. Guilt as identity rather than commitment to change. He's right, but I don't like being told. Still, this is what I appreciate about him. He doesn't coddle me. He challenges me to think more clearly. You'd never expect me to do this regularly, I say, changing the subject. Cook, I mean. Be that kind of girl. God, no, he says, smiling. It would put me off if it became a habit. I laugh. Good, because there's no chance in hell of that happening. It would be far too middle class for me, however you choose to frame it. That's what I love about you, he says. You know who you are. You don't try to please everyone. After supper, we wash up together. It's easy between us, comfortable, companionable, adult. With Topper, everything makes sense. Later, lying in his bed, I bring up Christmas. Will you come to Memphis? I ask. He's quiet for a moment. I can't. Too much to prepare for next semester. You could bring your books, study there. It's not the same. I need the library, my notes, the quiet. I'm disappointed, though I know I shouldn't be. You're upset, he says. A little, but I understand. He pulls me closer. You'll have fun without me. See your friends. The boy will be there. Yes, I say, he will. Topper's matter of fact about it, not apologetic, just practical. The boy wouldn't be able to drop everything to see me either, not with his tour schedule. But somehow I mind more with Topper. Maybe because the boy would mind too, would say he wished he could. Topper just accepts it. And maybe that's healthier. Maybe I need someone who doesn't drop everything. Maybe that's what growing up means. I don't know anymore. We spend the week walking through Cambridge, seeing films at the Brattle, having suppers with his friends from Harvard. They ask about Bryn Mawr, about my plans after graduation. I don't have good answers yet. One afternoon, Topper and I lie in bed, the winter light slanting through the window. "You're quiet again," he says, running his hand along my arm. "Just thinking." "About what?" "Nothing important." But I'm thinking about the difference. With Topper, everything is clear: compatibility, ease, mutual respect, attraction. With the boy, nothing makes sense. It's chaotic, impossible, ancient. But I can't breathe without him. I don't say this. I turn towards Topper and kiss him. At the train station, he walks me to the platform. "Be safe," he says, kissing me. "Have a good Christmas." "You too. Don't work too hard." He laughs. "I always work too hard." I watch him walk away, purposeful, self-contained, steady. He doesn't look back. The boy always looks back. I board the train and find my seat. As Cambridge disappears behind me, I think about what Miss Mary once told me, that you can love more than one person, but in different ways. One love makes sense, the other doesn't. I still don't know which one I'm supposed to choose. Chapter 33. I forgot to remember to forget. Back home in Memphis for Christmas 1955, the world feels different. The newspapers are still full of the bus boycotts beginning down in Montgomery, and the air is uneasy, watchful. I write a check to the local branch of the NAACP and drive it over in person to Hosea Lockard's office, intending to thank him for what he's doing for humanity. In my opinion, it goes badly. Mr. Lockard is clearly an intellectual giant compared with me. I stumble over my words, acutely conscious of myself and what I represent to him. I cut the visit short, not wanting to waste his time. I tell him I'd like to help in any way he deems useful, then retreat, wishing him and his family a happy Christmas, a gesture that feels suddenly absurd. Driving away, I'm overtaken by a new kind of shame, the realization that decency is not absolution, and that my whiteness has been an inheritance of silence. For the first time, I see how comfort itself is a form of complicity. Perhaps self-awareness only comes when the illusion of innocence becomes impossible to maintain. I tell myself I want to be a responsible citizen of the world now, to lend whatever voice I have to something bigger than myself. Miss Mary calls it admirable but advises focus. Better one cause followed deeply than 10 in passing. She may be right. "It's time I got a new car," I tell Miss Mary. She agrees, after all. I gave my old one to the boy a year ago. I rush down to Beale Street Cadillac and order a 1956 Eldorado Biarritz on early release, in lipstick red. "Go big or go home," I say as I sign the check. The salesman promises delivery within the week. I ask him to put a rush on it, tomorrow morning, if possible. "Yes, ma'am," he says. When the boy comes home from tour and drops by, he finds the Cadillac sitting in the drive, chrome glinting in the winter sun. He whistles, circling it. "Hot damn," he says. "Can I drive it?" "Sure thing, pretty baby," I tell him, tossing him the keys. We take it for a spin, stopping by his parents' new rented house. Everything feels briefly as it used to, easy, suspended. I'm on the phone with Topper, who's calling from his family's home in New York to wish me a Merry Christmas and check if his presents have arrived. When I hang up, the boy asks, "What's going on with the Ivy League rah-rah boy?" He's clearly jealous, though trying not to show it. "He sends his regards," I say, sitting down at the kitchen table where he's been chatting with Miss Mary. Miss Mary rinses her coffee cup and sets it in the sink. "See you kids later," she says. "Need anything from the store?" We both shake our heads. The boy watches her leave, then turns back to me. "Does he really know about us?" "He sure does," I say, kissing him on the cheek. And he ain't angry? He asks. That's crazy. I know. It's mad. I don't get it either. I pour myself a coffee and top up his cup. How's that even possible? He says. I mean, I gotta live with you having a life, but only 'cause I couldn't possibly ask you to sit around waiting for me, not the way things are. But if life was different, he takes my hand, I wouldn't let you out of my sight. I know, I say. Same. I don't know how he deals with it, really. I don't lie to Topper, and I don't withhold anything if he asks, and I can assure you we are not in an open relationship. The boy frowns. Something in that last sentence has triggered him. But does he know I'm your one true love? He asks, completely serious. I smile but keep my eyes steady. I honestly don't know. I mean, you and me, this whole thing, it just calls for a different approach, that's all. I know I'll always love you. You'll always love me, I say. Yes, he says. We belong together. But this guy, what does he get out of it? How does he see the situation? He shifts, restless. I tell him what Topper once said. I live with your relationship with this friend of yours because if I don't, we'll be 3 unhappy people. You, me, and the boy. The boy looks shocked. What? He means that if he doesn't respect the bond we have, it'll just lead to heartbreak all around. The boy shakes his head, baffled. Jesus, he mutters. Imagine that. I honestly think he sees it differently, I say. We sit in silence for a few moments. Who would you choose, the boy asks suddenly, if you had to choose one of us? I look at him. I might ask you the same thing, I snap. Who would you choose, all the girls on the road, or little old me? You. For sure you. He grins. And you're neither little nor old. He says it so fast I can't help smiling. But he doesn't let it go. He asks again, softer this time, but more pressure behind it. You, I say matter-of-factly, obviously. It's always been you. I can't escape you, I can't erase you, and I can't stay away. He grins. Same. It's crazy, this business of you and me. I've never been able to work it out. It's too big, too all-encompassing and profound to understand completely. Then he takes my hand and leads me upstairs to my room. Let's take the afternoon off, he says. Put on some records and just be... The boy tells me about his new manager, Colonel Parker. Says things are going to get crazy real soon. Parker's bought him out of his contract with Sam Phillips and negotiated a real deal with RCA Victor. Oh my God, I say. That's wild. I know, he says. Are you ready for things to take off? I laugh. This isn't about me, it's about you. Are you ready for nationwide fame? I don't know. I really don't. I hope so. He pauses. I'm kind of sad to leave Mr. Phillips. I hear you, I say. I find him and Miss Keisker so inspiring, creative, kind. They've done a lot for me. He agrees. We go down to Beale Street to watch B.B. King play. It's wonderful. We're both wild about him. We sit in the back where no one can see us. We don't want to upset any of the colored punters by our very white presence. The boy, who's not used to alcohol, has a couple of drinks. He makes me laugh, gets a little rowdy, very silly. It's only when he starts getting moody that I ask him gently to stop drinking. On the way home, he turns sentimental, melodramatic. He keeps calling me the sun to his moon and his North Star, and says he won't like it one bit if I ever leave him again. Head out the window, sobbing, he yells, "This is why I don't drink. Take it easy," I laugh. Back home, we listen to more rhythm and blues and dance around my bedroom to my babe. He's in the mood to talk all night. This is the last Christmas we spend together before the boy goes stratospheric, and I'm not sure he's ready for it, or if I am. It's also our last New Year's before officially becoming adults. His 21st birthday's just around the corner. So I go to Lansky's and buy everything Mr. Lansky says he's been wanting to try on. I have it all wrapped for his big day, which I host at my house. Miss Mary prepares all his favorite dishes. That boy has the palate of a child, she says, going through his handwritten list. Are you sure he doesn't want me to make something more flavorful and interesting? I shake my head. No, Miss Mary, I'm sure. It's hopeless trying to teach that old dog new tricks. She thinks we should at least try, and I leave her to plan it with Mrs. P. I stay out of it. I know how stubborn he is. Maybe you two should get a move on? I say, surly and sharp. We're leaving the hayride to fly back home to Memphis so the boy can celebrate turning 21. I'm here at his insistence. He got needy at the last minute, said he couldn't sleep without me, and I caved. Red's here too, and they're both being ridiculous, laughing at nothing, teasing each other like overgrown, overtired toddlers. And suddenly, it hits me. I've outgrown going on the road with the boy. I don't want to babysit grown-ass men, I mutter, but they just laugh. The boy pulls me in, wraps an arm around my shoulder, kisses me mid-complaint to shut me up. You little sourpuss, he grins. Then he's off, running to the cab, flinging open the door for me like it's all a game. We arrive in Memphis in the early hours of his birthday. I know what I want for my birthday, he says, crawling under the covers and flashing that grin that gets me every time. I'm not tired, not even a little. So, yes, Siree, I tell him, giving him a proper jump start to his 22nd year. I wake before him. He's asleep beside me, one arm sprawled over the covers, face soft with dreams. I lie there quietly, just watching him. He's grown into the most beautiful creature I've ever seen, truly. It's almost obscene. He was always cute, adorable even, but now, Jesus Christ, he's unreal. It might be the confidence the crowd's screaming for him night after night, or maybe it's the way he's stepping into himself, becoming this magnetic, unstoppable performer. He's building something, someone I've never seen before. And I've loved him since day one. That love has stayed steady. But now he's changing so fast it makes my chest ache. New layers of him show up every day, like he's blooming at a speed I can't follow. And for the first time in all our years together, I'm afraid I'll lose him. Not when he had other girls, not when he was too distracted or too busy. But now, because now I'm afraid he'll outgrow me, that this bright, blinding path he's on will lead him somewhere I can't go, that I'll be left behind in the dust, a relic to the boy he used to be. I stare at him sleeping in my room, in my big white house down south, and I hope I never forget this moment, him like this, young, glorious, mine, for now. When he finally stirs, I've already laid out his presents and brought him breakfast in bed. Happy birthday, baby, I sing, crawling on top of him, kissing his warm face. Welcome to 21. Chapter 34. Fame and Fortune. The boy has his first recording session for RCA in Nashville. It's a far cry from the sessions at Sun with Sam, where it was all about the feel, not money, not making a hit. Now he's under a whole new kind of pressure, both nervous and in a foul mood. He works best when it's about the music, not the market. I understand that. I'm there for moral support. When he comes out of the studio, I can tell by his slumped shoulders and pout that he's tired and deflated. He tells me they've only just got the material, and he's annoyed they haven't had time to prepare or get a feel for it. The light's gone right out of his eyes. He worries this is what it'll be like from now on with RCA. Still, he manages to lay down a few tracks before the session ends late that evening. Heartbreak Hotel among them, which goes on to become his first nationwide hit. See, I say later, applauding him, even when you're cut up and in a mood, you're good. He just sighs, downcast and silent as we drive back to Memphis. I decide I'm going to be the best support system I can be tonight. Back at the house, I draw him a bath, massage his shoulders, and read to him, switching between all the different voices in as I lay dying until we're both confused and he finally dozes off with his head in my lap. I need you here, he mumbles before sleep. You gotta come to New York with me for the second session. All right, baby, I'll be there, I whisper, stroking his hair. I promise I'll be there for his first national television appearance, too, on January 28th. His well-being is my well-being, I think. I can't ever just leave him stranded. If it comes to it, I can always go back and forth from Pennsylvania. It's only a train ride away. We're back in Nashville for meetings about the New York sessions. The boys in with the RCA executives. I'm waiting in the hallway when the colonel appears, cigar in hand. Miss, he pauses, having forgotten my name. Birdie, I say. Right, Birdie. He lights his cigar. You're here a lot. I am? Why is that? I meet his eyes. Because he needs me. The colonel studies me, calculating, cold. He needs a lot of things, doesn't mean they're all good for him. I'm not bad for him, I say, keeping my voice steady. That remains to be seen. He exhales smoke deliberately in my direction. But I'll tell you what I do know. When you're around, he's calmer, focused. Gets through sessions without falling apart. That's useful to me. I'm not here to be useful to you. He laughs. No, but you are anyway. He taps Ash onto the floor. So here's how this works. You keep him calm, I'll tolerate you. You help me manage my investment. The second you become a distraction, the second you cost me money or time or headlines. He doesn't finish. Doesn't need to. Understood, I say. He walks away without another word. I stand there, hands shaking slightly. I've just been warned. I'm allowed to stay as long as I'm useful. The moment I'm not, I'm gone. And the worst part? I don't even resent it. I just want to keep the boy safe, keep him whole. If that means playing nice with Colonel Parker, so be it. The tickets arrive 3 days later. For New York. Second RCA session in January. Return train ticket, first class from Bryn Mawr. I stare at it. The Colonel's accepting me, not because he likes me, but because I'm useful. I'm part of the machinery now. I should feel trapped, but mostly I just feel relieved. I get to stay in his orbit. I pack a small case, dresses for New York, warmer coat, good shoes. Miss Mary watches me from the doorway. You're going again, she says, not a question. I am. What about college? I'll sort it out. It's only a train ride back to Pennsylvania. She's quiet for a moment. Then, you know you're allowed to have your own life, don't you, Birdie? You're allowed to choose yourself sometimes. I know, I say. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to be there for the boy. But as I finish packing, her words echo. You're allowed to choose yourself sometimes. I know. I just don't want to.